Okay, so continuing that, and with finer audio quality this time, I assume. For this laptop's built-in microphone is not so bad compared to other ones I've had in the past. Anyway, some more myths about the war games which we're going to debunk thanks to the TARDIS data core. Though, mind you, it's reminding us of the existence of these myths in the first place before debunking them. But that doesn't matter, does it? Yeah, the alien race featured in this story, we were talking about this the last time, the alien race featured in the story are called the Warlords. Well, actually, the aliens are never referred to by this or any other name apart from the aliens on screen, although they are identified collectively as the Warlords in the script to episode 8. This name was never used in the finished program, perhaps to avoid confusion with the character played by Philip Maddock, who refers to be as in episode 7. Jamie and Zoe's memories are completely wiped of the Doctor. Well, actually, only their memories of travelling with the Doctor are erased. They both still remember their first adventure with him, namely the Highlanders and the wheel in space. Zoe is even seen return to the wheel and remarking on how the Doctor and Jamie have just left. And here's another myth. The War Chief doesn't have a TARDIS. While we never actually see it, in episode 8, the War Chief says to the Doctor, "Stealing a TARDIS? Oh, I'm not criticising you, we are two of a kind." And here we go. Another myth. The fight between Jamie and a redcoat at the end of the episode, end of episode 10, is a clip taken from the Highlanders, and is effectively one of the few surviving clips from the story. Actually, this brief fight was specifically shot for the War Games, although it has been used in some compilations by Babel Color to represent the story. Now we're going to read out aloud some fun continuity associated with the episode. The Doctor is put on trial for his interference in other cultures, as he would be again in his 6th incarnation. Listing the evils he has fought, the Doctor recalls the Quarks, the Robot Yeti, the Ice Warriors, the Cybermen, and the Daleks. Both the War Chief and the Time Lord Tribunal state the Doctor's appearance has changed. The Doctor's face is seen starting to change here, leading directly into his appearance on Earth with a new face and post-regenerative coma. The War Chief appears in some novel known as Time Worm Exodus. In a parallel universe, the Doctor chose one of the faces he had suggested to him on this trial and became the President of the Republic of Great Britain. What? That's also in Time Worm Revelation. Holy crap. Details of the War Chief's past are seen in a flashback in Divided Loyalties, that's a novel. The second Doctor meets Lady Jennifer and Lieutenant Carstairs again in the flashback scene in Players, which is a novel. This meeting is also briefly depicted in World Game, also a novel, after they have been returned to November 1915, and the Sixth Doctor meets them both again in 1936 in a latter part of Players. Outfits worn here by the Time Lords are similar to those worn by the Master as a boy in The Sound of Drums, which is a newer story, and the other Time Lords, the Three Doctors, are the Third Doctor story. Rassilon once wore a golden variant, as the Five Doctors depicts. Jamie jokingly suggests opening General Smythe's safe with a tuning fork. Reference to the Space Pirates, apparently. I vaguely remember that, I suppose. Not really. The Doctor notes that the Sidrat's remote control and dimensional flexibility halves the lifespan of their time control units. When on his mission to Space Station Camera, he protests most strongly at the teleport control installed in his TARDIS, which contains a Statenheim remote control that was later in the Two Doctors, Sixth Doctor serial. The Doctor later receives a hypercube message from another Time Lord that was in a later episode, like new Doctor serial episode called The Doctor's Wife. The Eight Doctors, which I assume is some novel, takes place during episode 9 of this story, with the Eighth Doctor having a brief encounter with a Roman Legion and Lieutenant Luck before being retrieved by one of the aliens' forces, subsequently meeting his second incarnation just as the War Chief has been forced to declare the war games over. A moment of temporal stasis as the two incarnations meet prevents anyone else registering that the Eighth Doctor is present. Those retcons are corny. War Crimes, a short story, takes place during episode 10 of this story. In the alternative timeline created by the Master, in which the Doctor never left Gallifrey, the Warlord's army spread across the universe. That's according to an audio story known as The Light at the End. Zoe encounters Tanya Lernov when she is returned to the wheel by the Time Lords. As part of a plan to regenerate himself, the Valeyard later stages a recreation of the Doctor's trial, with the Sixth Doctor's companion Flip Jackson forced to act as Zoe. That's according to an audio story called Stage Fright. By the end of the serial, both Jamie and Zoe have lost their memories of their adventures with the Doctor. The 10th Doctor will be forced to subject his companion Donna Noble to a similar fate, and the 12th Doctor will inflict such an amnesia on himself to erase his memories of his companion Clara Oswald. Ironically, several of the Doctor's later incarnations would resemble the objections he makes to his possible faces in this story. Both Clara Oswald and the 11th Doctor would imply the 12th was too old, the former misunderstanding the function of regeneration, while the latter bemoaned going grey. Melanie Bush believed that the 6th Doctor was too overweight and once tried to put him on a fitness program. The 12th Doctor once noted the particularly youthful appearances of his 5th and 11th incarnations. Donna Noble in the 11th Doctor would poke fun at how skinny the 10th Doctor was, the latter labelling it a special effect. That's kind of fun. Anyway, we can close it here at 5.5 minutes. Thanks again, everyone.